What is up, Copa fam? We are back on a Monday for another Walk Talk Football. This time, we're in surprisingly sunny London. We're at the COPA90 UK offices on a mini Euro tour. But today, we're gonna be talking a little bit of Premier League, a little bit of Dortmund, some drama in Manchester. So let's get to it. All right, let's get right into it. First up, FIFA 19 just dropped. Because we're in Europe, I haven't had a chance to touch it, except for the Foot web app, and I'm doing pretty decently trading, but the game just dropped. Pretty excited about it. As soon as we get back to the States, the only thing I'm gonna be doing is sitting on my couch with my dog and playing FIFA. My girlfriend might be a little bit upset, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Anyway, we are on our Euro tour, like I just mentioned. We visited Huddersfield, visited Wolves. I got to go on the Arsenal pre, during, and post-match show. You wanna see your team kicking on, but to see them win and not be at their best was great. 3 points, I'm pretty excited about that, pretty happy about that. And now we're heading on to Germany later today. Probably right around the time this is being uploaded, we'll be in Germany, gonna visit Frankfurt, Gladbach, and Dortmund. Pretty excited about that. But guys, first question for you today. Again, answer all 4 of these questions and we'll be giving away a COPA90 t-shirt. We wanna know what you think of FIFA 19. Have you picked up any sick packs? Do you want to give me any points? That last question is the most important. Do you want to give me any FIFA points? Really important. Mike almost got hit by a bike. That was great. Anyway, let's move on. Second topic is going to be, can Dortmund win the Bundesliga? They are now top of the table, a point ahead of Bayern. Bayern caught an L over the weekend. Dortmund beat Leverkusen coming back from 2-0 down to win 4-2. They look dangerous, honestly. I don't want to say that they're going to win the league because Bayern still exists, and I really just don't think anyone's going to unseat Bayern for now. But shout out to Jadon Sancho. The kid he's 18 years old. He's got the most assists in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. He's got 5 this season in 124 minutes, which is like just 124 minutes of play, which is absurd to me. Yeah, so that's going to do it for our little Bundesliga portion. But the question is, can Dortmund win? And again, I don't think they're going to win this year. I do think Bayern are just too strong. I really like the way Lucien Favre has that team now playing. They beat the hell out of Nuremberg. I think it was like 7-0. Came back against Leverkusen. But yeah, they're a lot of fun to watch. It's good to see them back strong again. Paco Alcacer looks like he was a great pickup. He's probably got to be their starting striker from here on out. They'll finish second, I think, close in behind Bayern. Probably push them a little bit. Bayern are probably the weakest they've been in a while, but still probably stronger than everyone else in the Bundesliga. Next up, we got some World Cup winners in trouble in Manchester. Ben Mendy and Paul Pogba are having a little bit of a rough go of it. Ben Mendy was left out of the squad for Manchester City over the weekend, and Pep said it wasn't because of an injury. He has been struggling a little bit with injury over the last, well, obviously when he tore his ACL, but over the last few weeks he's been struggling, a couple months he's been struggling with an injury. But it appears that maybe Pep is losing a little bit of patience with him for showing up late to treatment. He said he didn't have a problem with him going to the Anthony Joshua boxing match. Aguero's done a couple things like that. He's gone over to Amsterdam during the season, but I don't think he has an issue with that. It's just he can't show up late for training, can't show up late for treatment. You got to be professional, especially in a Pep Guardiola side. I think, personally, Mendy is going to be fine. He's one of the best left backs in the world. He's 24 years old, so he's still got some maturing to do. I don't think Pep's gonna just like write him off completely. But yeah, I think apparently in the last week or so, Mendy has like slowed down on his social media, which was one of the big things Pep wanted him to do, is just chill out, stay off the internet for a little while, relax. So I think Mendy's gonna be fine. Now, on the other side of Manchester, we got some real issues. Battle for the ages, Paul Pogba versus Jose Mourinho. I don't really know how this one's gonna end. It kind of feels like there's 3 scenarios. Jose Mourinho leaves, which in my opinion is probably the most likely one. Paul Pogba leaves, or they both leave. I've seen a couple articles of people saying that United should just clean the slate, get rid of Pogba, sell him to like Barcelona or Juve or someone else. Get rid of Jose Mourinho, bring in maybe Zinedine Zidane or someone like that. It's just, I don't really know what's going on there, man. Mourinho just came out talking a little bit about Alexis Sanchez, how he's a little bit disappointed in him, and it almost feels like he has no allies left at United. It almost feels like he's just, have you played a back three and put Scott McTominay in their back three? It feels like he's just trying to get fired. Like, it's season 3, he's probably sick of everything, he's gonna get a nice payoff, and he's not gonna quit, because then you don't get the payoff. So I think this man is really just trying to throw everyone under the bus and then just drive it over them and off into the sunset. But United, yeah, United's situation is really interesting to me. The way that a lot of players, well, former players around United and just English former players and press talk about Pogba in general kind of makes me feel like he might not want to be there too much longer either. So I really feel like we're going to see a much different United team when it comes January and then when we get to next August. So I'm going to give you the tiers and what I think is going to happen. Number 1, I think Jose Mourinho will leave before anything else. I would put that as the number 1 most likely thing. Number 2, Paul Pogba. 3rd most likely, they both leave. But I think, honestly, they're all very possible. But number 1, I think Jose Mourinho's out first. All right, so the question for you guys, our second question of the day is, who leaves first, Paul Pogba or Jose Mourinho? Okay, next up, we got Zlatan. Zlatan just hit 20 goals in MLS. He got a double against Vancouver to take it up to 20 and 24. I don't think it's a surprise that he's tearing up MLS. Zlatan is, although he's a little bit older, and has had his injury problems, he's healthy, and when he's healthy, there aren't a lot of strikers in the world that are better than him. I don't think he's not suited for the Prem right now. I don't think he's got the legs in him still. I don't think he would tear it up that way in Serie A right now because the tactical nature of that league. But I honestly think if you dropped Zlatan in any of the other like top 3 European leagues and gave him 30 matches, he'd probably get you 15 to 20 goals. So it's not a surprise for me that he is doing so well in MLS. But the question for you guys is, if he was in another league, how many goals do you think he'd score? Let's say we give him 30 matches. How many goals would Zlatan score in another league? So jump down there. Matt wants to know if it's his fault. Producer Matt wants to know. Vibes from Flores wants to know if it's Zlatan's fault LA aren't going to make the playoffs. He scored 20 goals in 24 games, man. Like, what more do you want him to do? Do you want him to play center back? Do you want him to play center back? Do you want him to play center back? Yeah, that's because he's got a better team. That's how it works. Football is a team sport. Soccer is a team sport. Zlatan's got 20 goals. You cannot ask for almost any more than that from a striker. He's doing his job. If the team aren't winning and he's scoring goals, I'm going to go ahead and say probably not his fault. Let's keep it pushing forward. Krzysztof Piatek is killing it in Serie A. 23-year-old Polish striker for Genoa has 8 of their 11 Serie A goals after just 6 matches. He's got 73% of their goals, which is a stupid number. It's the best Serie A debut in 70 years. And to be honest, this came out of nowhere. Over the last few years, we've seen kind of an influx of Polish players into Serie A. I think like 3 or 4 years ago, there were 0 Polish players in Serie A, and now there are 16, I believe. And it's, especially with Polish strikers, I did a lot of kind of like reading and research on Piatek and just reading some of the Polish fans, what they had to say about him. And a lot of them are surprised too, because a lot of Polish strikers score a ton of goals in their league and then come over to Europe and don't necessarily tear it up. Obviously, there's a guy named Robert Lewandowski, whose situation is a little bit different, but he's a one-off. But Piatek is absolutely killing it. He scored 21 goals last year in Poland, but he hasn't necessarily been the most prolific striker of all time. So it's going to be interesting to me to see if he can keep it up, especially in the second half of the season when teams know who he is. He's a known quality. They start to game plan specifically for him. So apparently Juve are keeping tags on him, want to maybe take an option on him, but I'm really excited to see how he continues to develop and if he keeps going this way, because Serie A is a tough league, and to just be crushing goals, just smashing them in like that is something special. So I got my eye on this dude. I don't want to call him a kid because he's 23, but yeah, I got my eye on this dude. This week, Champions League is back, thank the Lord. Not a lot of like marquee matchups this week. The two biggest ones we've got our eyes on, Napoli, Liverpool. That's gonna be a ton of fun. Napoli just lost to Juve in Serie A over the week. Juve opened up a big lead at the top of Serie A. But Spurs, Barcelona is gonna be a really interesting one too, because Spurs just got back on track, got a win over the weekend. Barcelona, though, did not do so well. So it's going to be interesting. It's in London. Obviously, right now we're in London, but we will be missing that match. We're popping over to Germany. But I think this one, I'm going to go with a draw for the Spurs-Barcelona game, and I'm going to go with a Liverpool win for Napoli. Matt just smiled so big. Oh, all right. I kind of want to change my answer now. Liverpool's going to lose. What's up, Matt? Our last question for you guys. Remember, answer all four to be entered for a chance to win a COPA t-shirt. Which game are you looking forward to in Champions League this week? So that's number 4. Get down in those comments, let us know. The last one is, which match are you looking forward in Champions League? And now we get to the best part, your questions. Last week's winner is RJ Moose. So holler at us, holler at us on community, IG DM, Twitter DM, whatever the best way for you to get in touch with us is. RJ Moose, holler at us. All right, Alex Watkins wants to know, with Atlanta United losing to Red Bulls over the weekend, do you think they can win the Supporter Shield? I still think Atlanta will win the Supporter Shield. I am actually wavering a little bit on them as my pick for MLS Cup. I think their defense is a little weak. It's a little shaky. I think that might be the difference for them when it comes down to actually tight matches in playoffs where you have to be tight at the back. Ace Kyle wants to know, Juve are the only perfect team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Can they go on and win the treble? And what percentage do you think it's possible? I give it a 7% chance. Seth Rollins, the wrestler? All right. Seth Rollins apparently watches the show. Who has a better chance of winning La Liga since Real Madrid and Barcelona have the same amount of wins, draws, losses? I've still got Barcelona as my favorite. I think they're deeper. They've got a stronger overall squad. They're deeper. I think at manager probably they're a little bit better, but they've still got a Messi, which is extremely important. Messi's good, I think. Good God, that is so much meat. Edwin Carrillo wants to know, can Madrid and Barca bounce back in the Champions League after a couple embarrassing performances in La Liga? Madrid are going out to Russia to play CSKA. They don't have Benzema, they don't have Bale, so I think they might struggle a little bit, but I still think they'll win. I would be a little bit worried for Barcelona. If I was a Barcelona supporter, I think that trip to London against Spurs might be a little bit, not a little bit of a test, a huge test for them. I could see them dropping 2 points. I could see them losing, but I think it'll be a draw. Arsenal with a good amount of wins on the trot. How far can this good form take them? Also, GG on getting on Arsenal's Instagram story. That was one of the coolest days of my life. Got to go to the stadium, for the Arsenal-Watford match. They had me on pre-match Arsenal Nation Live, mid-match, at halftime, and post-game. That was amazing. Arsenal have now won 7 in a row under Unai Emery. So I think they're on a really good run right now. They're not actually playing the best. I don't think they're on top form, but they're still winning, which is always good. When you're not playing at your best and still getting results, there's a lot to build on. XPO_399. Is it safe to say it's a 3-team race, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City, for the Premier League title, and how do you see them finishing? And does Chelsea have an advantage over Liverpool and Man City because they're only playing in Europa and not Champions League? I think it's gonna go this season. I think it's gonna go City, very, very close in behind Liverpool, very close in behind them, Chelsea. So at this point in the season, I still think City are gonna win the title. I just think they're too good, they're too deep. Pep Guardiola is too good of a manager And I don't quite see Liverpool unseating them. Been really impressed with Chelsea so far. Obviously impressed with Liverpool, but I don't know if honestly being in Europa is an advantage for Chelsea, because those are the kind you get like really long trips, because some of these teams are far out in Europe, and that travel can really wear you out. And it's not like they're not playing matches. They've still got matches to play. It's just not necessarily Champions League level, but the travel is really what gets you, I think. So I don't know if it's actually a huge advantage. And our last question from Marcia Gonzalez. Which league do you think is the best and most competitive outside of Europe? I think it's a great question. It's actually a really hard question, because there are some great leagues out there. Liga MX in Mexico. You've got the Brazilian Serie A. You've got Argentine League. You've got MLS. But for me, the most competitive across the board, I'm gonna go with Liga MX. I think there's a ton of quality and a lot of parity, like relative parity in that league. I think a lot of people kind of sleep on Liga MX, but they pay their players really well. They've got a lot of really good players spread out, and a lot of teams that are pretty solid. So again, Brazil and Argentina probably have more individual quality in the league, but as a whole, in terms of the actual teams in competition across the board, I gotta go with Liga MX. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that, on the best league outside of the top 5 in Europe, outside of Europe. That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much again for getting those questions in, for talking to us about everything in the world of football. We'd love to hear your feedback. Get down in the comments, let us know what you think. And as always, Copa fam, we will catch you next time. This time, we'll be back in New York.